I went walking through this new town, found a new love and gave it out. And it's the same old,
It's Complicated, written by Catherine Dixon.
same emotion behind your eyes.
Good morning, my ravishing relators. Welcome to Relationship Real Talk. We talk about all things relationships, the trials and tribulations, the good, the bad, and the downright disgraceful. Today, we explore gender identity and infidelity. Have we got a packed show for you all? And our first caller is the lovely Stuart. Good morning, Stuart. How are you today?
Hello, Anna here, and I'm a good ye.
I'm tip-top form, thanks, Stuart. What would you like to discuss?
It's a wee bit, Dorby.
Not fluent in Gaelic, Stuart.
A wee delicate.
We do Dorby here, Stuart. We do all flavours of linguistic expression.
Oh, aye, Anna. You know about my son, Angus?
Of course.
Aye, Angus, he's...
Yes, Stuart?
Angus says he's one of them non-binary persons now.
I see.
I think he can.
What do you need to understand exactly, Stuart?
How can he be a non-person now?
I believe a non-binary person is addressed as they, and they are not a non-person.
Getty. I want to be addressed as HRH, Anna. Doesn't mean anyone is going to call me that.
Stuart, these days we need to be more compassionate and inclusive about diverse identities.
In my day, there were men and women.
And in our day, Stuart, we did not know all the nuances of gender identity.
Let's get back to less nuance and more canny common sense.
Angus wants to claim their identity.
And what about me?
What about you?
How would he feel if I didn't identify as being a father?
They feel. That is a bit different, though.
Hey there, don't I get to choose, eh?
This is about gender identity, Stuart.
Well, maybe I'm sick of being identified as father, provider, piggy bank and taxi driver.
That is part of being a father.
So is calling out all this effing work jobby.
Stuart, we have run out of time. Goodbye. And our next caller is Brian. Hello, Brian. How are you?
I'm good, so that jock.
Stuart?
Yeah, he needs to knock some bleeding sense into his boy's noggin.
I am not sure violence will change his son's gender identity.
He's a bloke, end of.
We understand so much more about biological sex and gender now, so...
No, you're dead wrong
I
there,
don't
Anna.
think so, Brian, actually.
Hey, you know what it is really about?
What?
Attention. They are all bloody attention seekers.
I do think it is a little more complex than seeking attention.
Nah, it ain't. It is about getting attention. Too much Instagramming and TikTokering done their heads in.
Social media only highlights what is in the zeitgeist.
All bollocks.
Brian, please mind your language. You can do better.
Rubbish then. Anna, we used to know what a woman is and what a man was, and now even our politicians can't give us a straight answer.
Perhaps that is because it is complicated.
No, it ain't complicated, Anna.
Brian, you are welcome to your POV. Like all my listeners, it is called free speech.
My POV is bang on though.
Thank you, Brian. Take care on the roads. I have an email to read out to you all. Dear Anna, my mother is living a lie. She pretends she has the best marriage, yet I found out she is cheating on my dad with one of his friends. He has no idea. She always says how much she loves him, how she has the best husband, and how lucky we all are. I used to believe it, and now I wonder whether I can believe a word she says. It is becoming a problem, as I can hardly look at her now. What should I do? Should I tell my father? Should I let my mother know I know? It is beginning to affect me badly and my mental health. Any advice would be great. Yours, Worried Sick. Well, dear Worried Sick, the salient point here is that this is their relationship, and really, you do not know all the circumstances. You need to tread carefully. And conversely, your mum does need to know how you feel. There is not an easy answer to this. I wonder what the listeners think. after this next song. Stay tuned for relationship quandaries, and after the break, I will be taking more of your calls. Welcome to all my radiant relators. We have had an almost tsunami of calls and emails after that last letter from Worried Sick. And our first caller is Seema. Hello, Seema. You are on air. How are you? And what would you like to share?
Anna, oh my God, I can't believe it. I got through. I listen to you every week, you know. I've been wanting to talk to you forever, but I was just too scared. And my daughter said, Mum, just pick up the phone and call. And I did. And I got through first time. Oh, Anna, you know, I am such a massive fan of yours.
That is so kind, Seema. What would you like to say about Worried Sick?
Right, she should tell her father everything.
Really? Why do you think that?
Because she should. It's just as simple as that.
Even if she destroys her parents' marriage?
Honesty is always the best policy, Anna.
Is it, though?
It's affecting her daughter's mental health in a really, really bad way.
That is a factor to consider.
Best she fesses up.
Who fesses up?
The daughter, of course. If you ask me, it sounds like her mother is having far way too much of a good time to worry about telling the truth. What a slut.
Let's not be judgmental, Seema. We don't know all of the circumstances. Context is king here.
And her poor husband, he's a sad cuckold. And you know, I had to look that word up, Anna.
Cuckold, Middle English word, cogwold, from the Old French word cuckold. Thanks, Seema.
And I also think that in the...
Now we have our next caller, who is Molly. Hello, Molly. How are you?
G'day, Anna, mate. I'm good. That last caller was a muppet.
That's not a very compassionate thing to say, Molly.
Yeah, I speak as I find.
Very well. So what do you think Worried Sick should do?
Keep stum.
You know that is a Yiddish word which means silence.
I didn't.
Not a lot of people do.
Well, that comes when you go to Cambridge, don't it?
Doesn't it? I went to Oxford, actually.
Potatoes.
Let's circle back to Worried Sick, shall we?
Yeah, who pays the rent, food and keep then, eh?
I presume the parents. We don't know for sure.
Right, the parents. So she can show them some respect and keep a nose out.
She is worried sick, Molly.
Well, I'm sick by these woke-a-huntist types. We oldies all know that marriage is a tough gig.
On that, I can agree with you, Molly. To par the course takes commitment, honesty, and most of all, trust.
Bang on. So why is that self-righteous social justice warrior feels like she has the right to snitch on her old lady?
She feels torn. She feels confused.
Torn? Nah, she's a big loser. She needs to get a life.
Molly, your language is really unacceptable. Lots of judgmental assumptions.
You know I'm right, but all your listeners agree with me.
My listeners are the most compassionate, open-minded people.
And they think the same as me, mate.
I don't think so.
Well, why don't you put out one of those polls or survey things out? Go on, I dare you.
I'm sorry, Molly, but I need to terminate this call.
Chicken, eh, Anna?
I won't dignify her with a reply. Wonderful listeners, we will put a poll out, as I'm sure you will agree that her language is offensive. Now let's listen to another song, and I will catch up with you all tomorrow morning for another show where we check into the pulse of the nation on all things about real relationships. Hug the people in your life and tell them how much they mean to you. Hugs and kisses from me, Anna Honeywell.
Would you like some more fish pie? Or greens, Anna, darling?
No thanks, sweetheart. I'm stuffed. Delicious. Absolutely delicious.
So, about Alex. I don't agree. This is not a fad. He's not a faddy person.
What are you talking about? Don't you remember how many times he changed his mind about the degree he wanted, or what football team he supported, or how many musical instruments he picked up and then dropped? We got dizzy just trying to keep up with his inconsistencies.
Part of growing up. Finding yourself. I see a lot of this with my undergraduates at the university.
Now he's just turned 21, official age to be a grown-up.
So he can choose his gender identity.
Rubbish. We were talking about the very thing on the station this morning.
Really?
Yes.
A hornet's nest.
Talk shows, successful ones, are all about stoking hornets' nests.
Yes, though you don't cruelly taunt people like Jeremy Bile.
I should hope not. My degree in psychology counts for something, plus my counselling and neuroscience diplomas.
You have a different brand.
It takes more than PR and brand management to survive in my industry.
And you do it brilliantly, my love.
Thanks.
Still,
Yes?
Alex, I am concerned.
Look, he's bisexual. We all got through that situation. This non-binary thing is just a phase. It's fashionable to be non-binary, won't be forever, mark my words.
I think he's genuine.
Paul, if we paid attention to everything Alex said through the years, we would have moved to the outer Scottish Hebrides years ago, off-grid.
Well, I think he'd still like us to do that.
So impractical.
I think he really identifies Anna. Alex and I had a really long discussion about it.
And you didn't tell me?
Well, it was between us.
I like how you keep secrets from me.
Oh, hardly. Father and son discussion.
Father and offspring. How long can we say son or daughter anymore?
Yes, it is all becoming somewhat complex.
Sheer bonkers if you ask me.
You would never say that on air.
Of course not. You want to get me cancelled?
You won't be cancelled. You're clever and
And?
you manage difficult topics without losing your integrity.
If I really gave the unbridled talking stick to every Tom, Dick and Harry, can you imagine what a nightmare that would be?
Especially not Harry.
I am sick to death of talking about Prince Harry on air.
He has his lived experience.
Harry and his truth and endless ranting about the victimhood of being born a royal. He espouses to be progressive, yet he acts like an entitled aristocrat from the noblesse oblige school.
Almost makes you want to become a Republican.
Almost. Thank God Princess Anne keeps going.
Should we circle back to Alex?
Can you pour me another glass, darling? I had a long day. I need to steel myself for this.
Alex feels you're not on his side. He's very sensitive.
Side? I mean, if he wants to be a them, wear weird clothes, paint his fingernails, I won't stop him. But I draw a line to hormones and surgery.
Well, I'm not sure whether Alex wants to go down that route.
Thank goodness for small mercies.
But it is about self-identity and self-expression. Remember, we did this in our own way in the 70s and 80s.
You even wore eyeliner.
Don't you think we need to support Alex's life choices? Even if we don't fully understand them entirely.
Maybe. Hello, my darling. Want any of your father's delicious fish pie?
Eaten earlier.
I do wish you would join us in the evening.
Got schoolwork to do.
I know, darling, but
What?
just nice to spend some quality time with you.
Quality time is when you are on the air.
Darling, that's my work.
If that's what you call it.
Izzie, don't talk to your mother like that.
Why? Because she's a saint to her listeners?
Your mother never portrays herself as a saint.
That would be hypocritical of her.
What do you mean by that?
What I said.
I'm not perfect. I do my best.
Your mum works hard to help us live the way we do.
Not to mention your very expensive school.
I didn't ask you to send me there, so you can't hang that one on me for the rest of my life.
Yet it is one that made you happy and offers you a future.
What future? You and your generation have taken away our future. You've filled your boots, raped the planet, and...
All right, Greta Thunberg. How awful it must be to live with such dreadful people. Your father and I have had to make a lot of sacrifices to give you the very best opportunities, ones that neither of us had at your age.
Sacrifices? You and your generation are sacrificing the whole planet with your greed and selfishness?
Izzie, stop.
Okay, as interesting as the lecture, or shall I say rant on climate change is, I need to go to bed. I have a 5 a.m. wake-up call tomorrow. Paul, remember to change the flights, will you?
Yes, darling, yes. I do need the booking reference, though, for the trip and all the details.
Here, on my phone. Bring it up when you come to bed. Good night, both. Love you.
She always acts like she's always right and knows everything.
She's a good person, Many rely on her wisdom.
She is not a good person.
Izzie, she's your mother.
She's a hypocrite.
Izzie, what's gotten into you?
You don't know what's going on behind your back, do you, Dad?
Izzie, my darling, I think you're overtired, and I must say, overdramatic. Let's talk again tomorrow when you are rested and more rational.
She's a fake!
Oh, Isabel, please.
You are so blind.
What are you going on about?
Mum! Don't you see she's cheating on you? Making a fool of you, and I'm sick of it.
What? Don't be ridiculous.
Why don't you ask her?
Ask her what?
About her and Phil.
My best friend, Phil.
Yes, that Phil. He's disgusting too.
What?
I heard them, both.
Heard what?
Mum and him having a cosy chat. Ugh, it made me want to throw up.
Oh, that's just how they talk to each other. That's just their banter.
So friends talk about how they can't wait to see each other, and Mum talks about her earth-shattering orgasms. Ugh.
Izzie, please.
Oh, and all the other disgusting stuff they get up to, the cutesy little nicknames they have for each other.
Well, Izzie, look, this is really hurting my head now.
Why don't you ask her, Dad?
I don't have to. I know it's utter nonsense.
Well, check her phone if you don't believe me.
I'll go to bed, Izzie.
Go on, check.
Izzie, to bed, now.
Ugh, fine. No one ever listens to me.
What has gotten into her? Teenagers. Now, let's see. What? No. No. What the fuck? This can't be true. Must be a bad joke in terrible taste. Phil always takes it too far, and Anna exaggerates and embellishes. This is just their weird humour. Shit. Jesus. Did I need to know that? Unbelievable. It is true.
Morning, my wonderful listeners. What a resplendent day. Keep hydrated, and if you are out there, slather on the sunscreen. It is going to be a scorcher. Today, we are discussing sustainable relationships. What does it take to keep them going once out of the flush of youth and the fervour of young love and passion fades? So my question today is, what makes love last? After our first song.
Slowly but surely your brain just blurred me away.
Welcome back. Now our first caller is Bill. Hello, Bill. Where are you calling from?
Bolton.
Lovely. And what advice would you give our lovely listeners?
Been married to me Mrs. Angie for 50 years this autumn.
Congratulations, Bill. That is a long time, and I'm sure you know a thing or two about keeping the love alive.
Yes, well, it was love at first sight, Anna, and I love her even more each day.
You are an inspiration. So what is the secret, Bill?
No secret, really. Be yourself. Live and let live.
How does that work in your very successful relationship?
I love fishing. My wife can't stand it, so I go fishing and she never minds. Well, not now anyways.
What does she love to do?
She loves to do our garden, loves it. And we both do ballroom dancing every Saturday night.
How marvellous.
Yeah, it keeps us on our toes.
How wonderful. You have your own interests and one together.
Yeah, so we enjoy ourselves and we don't nag each other.
So important.
Works for us, Anna, works for us.
Thanks, Bill. Incredible. 50 years of blissful marriage. Congratulations. Illustrious listeners, I am asking you the secret of a long and happy relationship. I have a call from Valentina. Hello, Valentina. Where are you calling from? And what would you like to share?
Hello, Anna. I am calling from home.
Hello, Valentina, or should I say, buongiorno, come stai?
Buongiorno, sto molto bene. E lei? Didn't know you speak Italian.
Sto bene, grazie. Let's speak in English, Valentina. What do you think is the secret to lasting love?
We Italians believe happiness is all about la famiglia. Spend time together, eat together, laugh together, and like we say, moglie felice, vita felice.
Happy wife, happy life, Valentina. That is my husband's philosophy.
You are very fortunata then, Anna. Like me, my husband puts me first. He's incredibile.
I am, Valentina. I couldn't do this job without my husband's support. So now we have a little break, and here is our next song.
Lights out early tonight, 'cause I'm feeling tired for the bar, with a window open wide.
Welcome back, my liberal-minded listeners, and the lines are buzzing, and I have so many emails in with wonderful tips. We have Mary who says have a sense of humour, and Nambi who says be kind, be kind, be kind, and I couldn't agree more with that. So let's take our next call, which is from Paul. Hello, Paul, you are live online. What would you like to share with our listeners about the secret to a happy relationship? By the way, that is my husband's name.
It is me.
Oh, Paul, so thrilled you have called in. What a lovely surprise. So do you want to share the secret of our long, happy marriage?
Trust.
Oh, yes, mutual trust. So true.
Once trust is betrayed, marriage is destroyed.
Yes, true, though very sombre, Paul.
Sombre truth.
Yes, and I am seeing on the live feed that you are getting lots of likes and thumbs up emojis.
Truth is not your strong suit, is it, Anna?
What, Paul?
Being trustworthy? Not your thing.
Paul has the driest sense of humour, lovely listeners. I do love it.
Like Phil?
Um,
Game's up, Anna. I know all about it.
Paul, darling, let's discuss this at home. The listeners don't want to listen to all our dirty laundry.
You mean your impression brand management?
Oh, Paul.
Izzie was right. You are a fake.
Paul, please. The listeners are becoming upset.
Well, maybe they have a right to be upset when they've all been duped too.
Paul, I don't know what this is about, but I think this is best discussed in private.
You make a living out of discussing private things publicly.
We have to go to the news now. See you all back in 3 minutes. Paul, what on earth is this? Stop it. It's not at all funny.
Well, it's not meant to be. I'm ripping the curtain back.
This is not the Wizard of Oz. It's not appropriate when I have a load of listeners in precisely 2 minutes ready to crucify me.
It would help if you thought about your brand image before you started an affair with my best friend.
What? Paul, I can explain. It's not what you think.
Save it.
How did you...
Izzie.
Izzie?
She's very upset. She's not been eating properly, not attending classes.
I didn't know that.
You know nothing real about your family. You're too busy projecting your golden image.
Paul, this is cruel and heartless.
That letter you read out yesterday?
What about it?
Our daughter wrote that.
Oh.
And you are so up your own arse, you didn't even consider the bitter irony of it all.
Paul, let's talk later. We can get through this. Now I need to be ready for the callers.
I won't be there later.
Hello, listeners. Paul called in. Sorry to drag you into our domestic affairs. A bit of a joke. I know, not very tasteful, but a joke. Okay, Sophie, you agree with Paul. Ema, you say I've cheated. Well, that's quite judgmental of you if I say so. Thank you, Lila. Yes, I am very discombobulated. You're gay? No, not what you expected. Me neither. Me neither. And Petra, well, I won't read that out loud. Very rude. Listeners, you are my world. I love my job. It's so stressful being there for everyone. It is. So I know what I did was wrong, yet it is not a crime. Many people have a little flirtation and a long marriage, and that is all this was. My husband Paul has read too much into my banter. You know how I am. Oh, you don't know how I am. I don't have good banter, Simon. Well, that is your opinion. And you think I am a word snob, Syed? No, I just speak properly and have standards. My husband, I love him so much. I work so hard to keep my family going, day after day, having to listen to all the trouble of the nation, all the time having to be careful about what I say to exude compassion. Yes, I am compassionate, but it's still hard to be all the time. I mean, oh gosh, I'm at a complete loss for words. It's complicated.
I was walking through this country to find a girl saying she loved me.
Thank you for tuning in to It's Complicated, brought to you by Rebcat Creations. We're a dedicated team of actors, writers and technical enthusiasts, passionate about sharing modern stories with a satirical edge. We genuinely appreciate you spending your time with us. And if you're curious about who's behind the production team, our show notes have all the details. Please subscribe on Spotify or YouTube and leave a comment. It's a simple way to support us and help others find us. Until next time, take very good care of yourselves.
Sure.